assistant coaches in football today, and each year he just seemed to continue to build on that record.
Here's Ryan Williams, a 265-pound junior from Suffolk, Virginia. And a unique story. Had half of his kicking foot severed in a lawn mowing accident. As a youngster, he wears a specially fitted kicking shoe like the one former Saints kicker Tom Dempsey wore. Well, second time he kicks it off. This one drives Harris to the goal line, picked up by Dexter Siegler at the 2. And Siegler brought down at the 14-yard line. So Virginia Tech actually prospers because of the penalty. Frank Costa will take it 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes, their own 15. A week ago at BC, Costa's first start, not bad. 15 of 31, 205 yards. Didn't throw a touchdown, was intercepted in the end zone back in the 4th quarter. But Costa did gain some confidence off of his performance at Boston College.
Right. The one interception he had was late in the game, and it was off a tip ball, so he really threw the ball well at times. He just didn't have the success that you're used to seeing from a UM quarterback.
From the 14-yard line, Miami opens up in 2 backs. Larry Jones, the front man in the eye. Donnell Bennett, the tailback. Big hole for Bennett. Up to the 28-yard line. So Donnell Bennett, who picked up 12 yards on his first carry 2 weeks ago, picks up 13 yards on his first carry today.
Well, that's what they've got to do today to be successful. They've got to be able to run the ball right at them, right up the middle. And there you see Tyrell Green and the Casey Jones coming off the ball, giving him a big hole through the middle. And he just did a good job of getting up the field.
Casey Jones, the starter at center, got a game ball 2 weeks ago for his effort against Boston College. Hurricanes have it 1st and 10, their own 28-yard line. Ball game just underway. Here's Costa's first throw. As his man Larry Jones breaks a tackle 35. Jones to the 43, perhaps to the 44.
And that's what Larry Jones gives you, is a back out of the backfield with good hands and catch the ball and will break tackles as we saw there and was able to get some extra yardage.
Pick up of 15 yards. Frank Costa to the junior fullback Larry Jones.
Here we go. If we look at the instant replay, you see Costa's set. He knows who he's going to, gets the ball out to him quick, gives him time to turn upfield, shake a tackle, and here he picks up another 8-9 yards.
Ran right by Stacy Henley until Torian Gray, the strong safety, was able to nail him. 2 plays, 2 first downs for the Hurricanes. From their own 43, Costa. In and out of the hands of the sophomore tight end, Saeed Tucker, who had 4 catches for 59 yards in the opener at Boston College.
That was a catchable ball, something he should have came down with, but ironically, I expect to see him have a big ball game.
7 first-time starters on the Tech defense. Cornell Brown, a true freshman, the standout up front. George Del Rico, good inside linebacker, playing with a shoulder injury. And 2 starters out of the secondary injured, Yarborough and Gray filling in. 2nd down, 10 for Miami. Their first drive, they have it, their own 43. Blitz coming, Costa buried back at the 35-yard line. Ken Brown, Bernard Basham, and number 56, Lawrence Lewis, all out blitz, and they put Costa down.
Right, the Hokies walked up into an 8-man front, and they just came after him. Here you see Costa check off, but he doesn't have time to get the ball off. There's a free blitzer, and he ended up taking the sack. He did the smart thing, not throwing it up for grabs.
Loss of 7 marks it back to the 36 and sets up a 3rd and 17 for Frank Costa and the Hurricanes. Costa stepping up. Here's Chris Jones for the first down at the Virginia Tech 44-yard line. On 3rd and 17, the Hurricanes pick up the first down.
Here you see Costa showing a lot of poise in the pocket as he slides around, and he really made a great throw. He had the presence of mind knowing where the line of scrimmage was. If you look at the replay, he steps up. He's still not able to throw. He slides out. Now he knows where he's at, and he finds his open man. And here you see Chris Jones making a diving catch for the first down. Good execution. 4th catch this year for Jones. Picks up 20. And the Hurricanes in business, 1st and 10 at the Virginia Tech 44. And that will go against Miami. Looks like Tyrell Green moving.
little bit early, the strong side guard for the Hurricanes. That was one thing Dennis Erickson was not pleased with against Boston College. 8 penalties, 90 yards.
Not only against Boston College this year, but last year they had the same problem. They were giving up too many penalties, and they were such a superior team. They were able to win in spite of it. But this year they've got to get away from the silly mistakes that hurt good football teams.
First down and 15 for the Hurricanes at the Tech 49-yard line. A.C. Tellison to the short side. Jonathan Harris, Chris Jones, top of your screen. Short drop for Costa. In trouble again. Broke away from J.C. Price and get to the Tellison, but he will lose a yard, getting it just shy of midfield. That's A.C. Tellison, the junior out of Bay City, Texas, had just one catch in the opener, but it was a big one at Boston College for 63 yards.
Well, A.C. Tellison then did what good receivers do for you. When you see the quarterback in trouble, you come back to help him out. And there you see him come back.
Defensive holding against Virginia Tech. Matt, your keys for Miami today.
Well, we see it earlier. Miami must protect the passer. They must give Costas a little bit more time. They must stay away from the silly penalties, which, we've already seen that. And most of all, they must keep the ball out of DeShazo's hands.
Yeah, the Virginia Tech Hokies hit with a defensive holding penalty, but early on now, they're getting good pressure on Frank Costa.
They're getting good pressure, but one of the things I think I saw in the films earlier this week looking at him is that Frank doesn't take a real good drop when he's taking that 3-step drop. He doesn't get enough separation between him and the line of scrimmage.
From the Virginia Tech 39-yard line, Larry Jones and Danielle Ferguson in the backfield. This is Jones with running room. Jones spinning near the first down inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Ken Brown, the linebacker. There to stop Larry Jones, who picks up 4.
Here you see an excellent run by Jones. It's a little draw. He comes out the backside, and you see him turn on the speed. Here he should have kept running. Once he stops, the pursuit catches up to him and holds him to a 4-yard gain.
Ken Brown, the top tackler for Virginia Tech, and there's a good look at Larry Jones, who was the MVP of the Orange Bowl back in his freshman year. And again, Zev Lemelski this time off the Miami offensive front. The big left tackle charged offside, so another penalty on Miami here in their first drive. We're scoreless, 11:35 to play in a slow starting first period.
So those are what we talked about at the top of the telecast, the fact that they can't afford to give up the penalties. And here you see it's probably going to be on a quick count. And Lemelski wants to get off on a quick count and wants to be the guy that they're coming over him. And he's just a little over anxious. But now it puts him in 2nd and long versus 2nd and short.
Well, it was 2nd and 1. Now is 2nd and 6 at the Virginia Tech 40. 3 receivers, bottom of your screen. James Stewart, the lone back. He makes the catch. Breaks the tackle. And gets near the first down over at the Virginia Tech 35-yard line. Out of the bounds by J.C. Price and by the defensive end, Hank Coleman.
I think we got another penalty flag down. And James Stewart is a guy that Dennis Erickson really likes. Here he shows his ability to get out, catches the ball in his hand, and then he turns upfield. And I think we've got a clip there that's going to bring it back.
Miami's 3rd penalty of their first drive today. Frank Beamer's Virginia Tech team is trying to turn it around. They were 2-8-1 a year ago, but off to the 2-0 start.
Well, they've got to be happy. They're 2-0. They only won 2 games last year, and if they can show well, they don't have to win here. If they can just show well, they'll go back into Virginia Tech feeling good about themselves with a schedule that they don't play Miami every week.
Well, the Hurricanes now back up, 2nd down and 20. Their own 46-yard line. Costa operates with 4 receivers, no backs out of the shotgun. This is Jamie German. German with a big play on his first play as a Miami Hurricane. He picks up 20 yards. Jamie German, the freshman from Fort Myers, Florida.
Here's a kid with all the skills. Coming out of high school, he was probably one of the most highly sought-after athletes, even though he was a defensive back. And here you see his ability to catch the football and run with it. And here he shows you some toughness where he just snatches it away from Brown and keeps going for another 3-4 yards. Jamin German, he's the guy that Miami's expecting big things, not only for this year, but years to come.
Well, the unveiling of a potential college superstar, and Jamie German injured his hamstring early in preseason. He picks up 21 yards. First time he touches it, 1st and 10. Bennett ripping through. L. Bennett to the 30-yard line. That's a 3-yard gain. And finally run down by the strong safety, Stacy Henley. Henley, a junior out of Woodbridge, Virginia, had 7 tackles a year ago in the game against Miami. And he's been a busy man here on the first drive. 5 minutes into the football game. No score. Hurricanes on their first possession. And they have it 2nd down and 6. Costa been on the money here early. This is Larry Jones. And Jones brought down at the 25-yard line by the outside linebacker, Dwayne Knight.
Eric, we see a good job by that Miami offensive line of just coming off the ball, blowing them out, blowing them back out of there, and giving the running back the place to run. And without those couple of silly penalties that they had earlier, you're talking about an offensive line is doing a superb job.
Miami has dominated the series, but 7 of the 10 games have been decided by 10 points or less.
Well, we'd like to see a 10-point or less game today, but I don't think we'll see it. I think Miami's coming out on all cylinders, and they're going to take this ball in and score.
10th play of the drive, 3rd down and 2 for the Hurricanes. 25-yard line. Straight ahead comes the fullback, Derek Harris, a sophomore out of Willow Ridge, Texas. He should have enough for another Hurricane first down.
Just one of 5 big backs that have the ability to run with the football, catch the football. And this kid last year played linebacker. And they brought him over to develop some depth because they were going to the 2-back. And here you see him just driving those legs and using that strength to get the first down.
Derek Harris, 5 feet 11, 240 pounds. He's another hard charger out of that Hurricane running stable. Marcus Wimberly, a redshirt freshman, wide receiver in, top of your screen, on 1st and 10 from a Tech 22. Danielle Ferguson, nowhere to go. Stop back at the 27-yard line. That's a 5-yard loss and an excellent play by the linebacker Andy Miller and the defensive end number 6, Hank Coleman.
He just, you know, they're in a deep eye, and they're trying to run a little cross block on, and there's just no way. They've got too much penetration. There's nowhere for him to run, and he did the smart thing, just tried to hold on to the football.
Nice play by Hank Coleman, a sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, who is a first-year starter and brings lots of speed to that Virginia Tech front. 2nd down, 15 at the Virginia Tech 32. Costa works out of a shotgun. He's got Ferguson to the bottom of the picture. And missed him. And again, good rush put on Frank Costa. George Del Rico, the inside linebacker, supplying the heat.
Well, I think what we're seeing from Virginia Tech here, Eric, is that they're going to come after him until he proves that they can either pick up the blitz or they can hit the hot receiver and make a big play. So they're coming after him every other down.
8 minutes to play, first quarter. This is the 13th play of Miami's opening drive here at the Orange Bowl today. Chris Jones, Jonathan Harris to the left. A.C. Tellison to the right on 3rd and 15. Time for Costa. Pass Chris Jones. First down Miami at the Virginia Tech 5-yard line. A 27-yard pickup on 3rd and 15. And there is a penalty marker down at the 5-yard line.
It's just a good route being run by Chris Jones, and Frank Costas having a lot of poise, sitting in the pocket and throwing the football. We got an injury here, but we also have a flag down, and I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike, too much celebrating on Chris Jones.
Well, you've got the call right, and the injured player is William Yarborough, the sophomore left cornerback, who's starting today in the place of the injured Tyrone Drakeford. And that's a shame for Virginia Tech, because Drakeford is an NFL-caliber defensive back. He has 15 career interceptions and is back home in Blacksburg, Virginia, sitting it out with a shoulder injury.
Everything I've read, and here let's go back and look at the instant replay here, and you see Frank Costas sitting in the pocket, lots of patience. He hits Chris Jones. Chris Jones makes the play, comes up, and now he gets up and he starts to celebrate, and that's a no-no in college football today. So it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Hurricanes.
This has become a penalty-marred first drive for Miami. They had it at the Virginia Tech 6. They'll bring it back to the 21. And we're glad to see William Yarborough walking off okay for Virginia Tech.
Well, that's one thing, as we started to allude to earlier, with Tyrone Drakeford being home, they can't afford to lose Yarborough because they're already thin at that corner slot.
Already two starters down in their secondary. Antonio Banks, the free safety. Tyrone Drakeford, the left corner, both sitting this one out injured. So 1st and 10 for Miami at the Hokie 21 with 7:43 left here in a scoreless first period.
Look like this drive is going to take forever. They keep doing things to stop themselves, but then they come back with a big play to gain the first down and keep the drive alive. And that's what Miami football has always been made of, making plays.
Larry Jones, the lone setback behind Frank Costa. And Jones stumbles down, a loss of 2 back to the 23-yard line. And 5 Virginia Tech Hokies surrounding Larry Jones after he caught the football.
Well, Virginia Tech is doing a good job of mixing up the blitz and then dropping back into zone coverage and trying to keep everything in front of them. And on that play, that's what they did. They dropped back in the zone. They allowed Larry Jones to catch the ball and came up and made the tackle for no gain. Matter of fact, for a 2-yard loss.
Virginia Tech won their opener 33-16 against Bowling Green. Blew out Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh last Saturday, 63-21. Second down, 13. Again, movement on both sides. Here's Janelle Bennett turning the corner. And run out at the 16-yard line. Dwayne Knight in on the stop with Scott Jones. Let's go downstairs. Joe Rose's World.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Nat. They're talking about sportsmanship. It was very important talking to Dennis Erickson during the week. He talked to the seniors. They shook hands before the game today for a while. Also, he's talking to his players on the side. Let's calm it down a little bit. The officials are going to be very tight on the enthusiasm part of this game today. Back up to you guys.
Thanks very much, Joe Rose. Of course, Joe and my partner up here, Nat Moore, very familiar with these confines. You guys both played for the Dolphins here at the Orange Bowl.
I don't care what anybody says. The great years were spent right here in the Orange Bowl, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. Fortunate enough to play here for 13 years, and I have a lot of fond memories of this particular place.
And Dolphin fans have many fond memories of you. 13 years, one of the very best to catch footballs in the National Football League, and some great days with the Dolphins here.
Well, thank you. Where would I need you? Where were you?
6:38 to play, first quarter, scoreless game. Costa has it for Miami. Second down and 8 after the penalty. Costa looking for Harris in the end zone. Makes the catch, but he was out of the end zone and out of bounds. Jonathan Harris, a flanker out of Houston, Texas, running single coverage. The number 14, Torian Gray, had the step but ran out of room.
Yeah, he had him beat, and here's a ball that Costas has to just line it in. He can't hang this ball because there's not much room to run. So here he hangs it up a little too high, and even though Harris has him beat, there's just not enough room to come down with the touchdown.
On this drive, the Hurricanes 3 of 3 on third down, turning it into first down. They'll have to do it again to keep it alive. 3rd and 8 from a Tech 19. Larry Jones, the lone setback. First down. A.C. Tillison stopped inside the 5-yard line, but a 14-yard pickup on 3rd and 8. The Hurricanes are perfect on third down so far.
That's what good teams do. They execute in the crunch, and every time their back's been against the wall, it's third down, they might have to turn the ball over with. You see, once again, they come up with a big play. Frank Costas is doing a great job under pressure of throwing the football against this zone defense that the Virginia Tech Hokies keep sitting back in on third down.
A.C. Tillison's second catch of this drive. Tillison has never caught a touchdown pass. Very nearly broke free for 6 points that time. And on 1st and goal from the 4-yard line, Virginia Tech asks for a timeout. 6 minutes, 8 seconds to play here in the first quarter at the Orange Bowl. The third-ranked Hurricanes are threatening here on Sunshine Network.
Each month, there are thousands of hours of sports on television. So how do you find what you want to see? Well, you could check the newspapers and cable listings and all the satellite guides. But what about the other sports programming that isn't listed? There are over 40 sports channels. And don't forget satellite wild feeds or backhauls. Don't ever miss a great matchup again. Jot down this number, 1-800-652-2112, and order the Sportscaster, the only complete guide to all televised sports. Whether on cable, satellite, or off-air, only Sportscaster gives you the TV schedules for every pro and college game, and lots more. It's the most information on televised sports you'll find in one place, guaranteed. With easy-to-read daily program grids and complete listings by sport, it's finally easy to find your favorite team. Call now and you'll get 12 monthly issues for only $29.95. That's nearly half off the cover price. That's 1-800-652-2112 for the Sportscaster.
Welcome back inside the Orange Bowl, where Miami's first drive has played like a telethon. This will be the 17th play. They've consumed nearly 9 minutes. They started back at their own 15-yard line. They've converted 4 third downs in the first downs, and now Nat Moore, they have a first and goal at the 4.
And here you see them lining up in that power eye. And let's see if they can get it in. This is what they've been working on, being able to run the football down here tough.
Danielle Ferguson runs it into the end zone. We're very close to it. Thought Ferguson squeezed through, but stopped right at the goal line. Danielle Ferguson, the exciting sophomore out of Columbus High School here in Miami. And it'll be second down and inches from just outside the Virginia Tech goal line.
Well, Eric, you know, it's just good to see Miami playing power football. They've been a finesse team for so many years now, and now to see where they feel they can just line up and run it at you, that's a credit to that big offensive line and those running backs that they've got there.
Trying to complete an 85-yard drive on their 18th play from scrimmage. This is Bennett, and he doesn't get in. Donnell Bennett turned away. Bernard Basham. Defensive tackle spot. Basham is a big fella, 6'6", nearly 270 pounds.
He's a big guy that got penetration into the backfield and didn't give the back a chance to get up and over, and they were able to stop Donnell Bennett before he can get his feet up under him to dive. Just a good job by that entire Hokie defense there.
There goes Basham out on 3rd and goal for Miami at the Virginia Tech 1. Can the Hurricanes stay perfect on 3rd down? We'll have to wait because Frank Costa calls timeout. So this first drive for Miami hit the slight snag with 4:43 to play here in the first quarter. The 3rd-ranked Hurricanes and the Hokies still scoreless. We'll be right back here on Sunshine Network.
You're watching college football on your local Prime affiliate. Remember the running, screaming, and kicking before bed on a Sunday night? Now it's our turn with the Cowboys and the Cardinals on Sunday Night NFL on TNT. The Super Bowl champs will be doing the running, and the Cardinals will be screaming. The Cowboys and the Cardinals, Sunday at 8 Eastern, Sunday Night NFL on TNT. And 105.9 KBPI rocks the Rockies with NFL on TNT prizes. Listen to win.
If you've been waiting for a hard-working chainsaw to tackle those tough jobs around the farm, your wait is over. The boss is back. The Steel Farm Boss. See it now at your nearby full-service Steel dealer. If you've been thinking about buying a blower, think about buying a Steel. When you see how powerful and quiet Steel blowers are, deciding to buy one will be very, very easy.
football. Grand Final, live Friday at midnight on Prime.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. 4:43 to play in a first quarter that Miami has owned the football from start right till now, and looking for points on this 85-yard drive. Now don't miss this week's edition of Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine with host Paul Kennedy. Call in toll-free and talk with linebacker John Grimsley and running back Mark Higgs this Monday night live at 7, only here on Sunshine Network. With Nat Moore and Joe Rose, Eric Reed, delighted to be with you and looking to see if the Hurricanes can capitalize on this 3rd and goal from the 1. Larry Jones, Donnell Bennett behind Frank Costa. This is Jones. He doesn't get in. They'll give Virginia Tech credit. They have held 3 consecutive plays down near the end zone. Dorian Gray, the safety, came up, made a big hit. And now Dennis Erickson with a decision to make, Nat Moore. 4th and goal inside the 1.
Well, I think he's made that decision, but here you see that Hokie defensive line just not allowing that strong side blocking on the offensive line. You're talking about the strong tackle and the strong guard. They're just not being able to move people out of there. Lemelski and Tyrell Green.
Miami's gone 84 yards in 20 plays. They need to go a yard more on 4th and goal from the Virginia Tech 1. Larry Jones up, over, and in. Touchdown, Miami.
Here you see Miami use a little trickery to sort of take the defense off balance. They bring in Danielle Ferguson, the speed guy, and go from the eye and give it to the first back up, which is Larry Jones going in from 1 yard out, having the Hokies think a little wide on this play.
How dog-like. Well, they love it here in Miami.
Very impressive drive if you could take away the penalties.
This is Dane Pruitt. Hit both his extra points in the opener at Boston College, and out of the hold of Mike Chrissy, he nails that one. So the Hurricanes take the football the first time they get it today. 5 yards in 20 plays.
And we have another flag down.
It'll be assessed on the kickoff, if at all, because the Hurricanes have come off with the 7-0 lead. 3:54 left in the first quarter. Well, this is Larry Jones' 10th career touchdown. It puts the Canes up 7-0. Back for more in a moment on Sunshine Network.
All right. All ears, all eyes, all here for the 28 seconds. If you think all sports networks are all the same, you're all wrong. All along, Prime Network has brought you the All-Stars and the All-Americans. I mean guys on all fours and all-out wars. Not to mention the all-around greatest athletes in all the world. All told, everything short of the Almighty himself. If you're looking for the all-round, all-world, at all-cost coverage from the Sports Network, all you need to know is you found it. All day and all night, all right here on Prime. All in all, that's all.
This new album called 40 Summer Fun Hits.
It's a fantastic 4-record collection that's loaded with 40 summertime favorites.
Undercover angel, midnight fantasy. Oh, it's so nice to be with you. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am. American man, born to be wild.
4 records or 2 cassettes, only $19.95.
2 compact discs, just $24.95. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-352-2121 or send $19.95 for records or cassette tapes or $24.95 for compact discs plus $4.35 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. That's 1-800-352-2121.
A 7-0 lead for third-ranked Miami against Virginia Tech, and Nat Moore, quite a drive for Miami. True, there were penalties, but the key third down makes and a critical fourth down decision for Dennis Erickson that paid off.
Right, here Dennis uses a little trickery here, going with the eye and giving the ball to the first up back because the linebackers got to worry about Danielle Ferguson outside. They're a little late getting it over the top, and Larry Jones able to get it in.
The Hurricanes taking up over 11 minutes on their first drive. How about it? 20 plays, 85 yards.
And that's what killed the other team. When you are sitting on the sideline waiting to get in offensively, it takes a lot out of you when the team just gives up that touchdown, and it takes 20 plays to get it in.
Scott Barnwell has it teed up for Miami at the 40-yard line. Dwayne Thomas to your right. Touchdown, Tommy Edwards on the left. Frank Costa did a nice job directing Miami with a touchdown. First time they had the football at Boston College, and again the first time they get the football today. Costa went 6 of 8, 89 yards. Here's Thomas from a yard deep. And Thomas tries to break away, cannot, to the 17-yard line. Good tackle made on the special teams by Carl Richardson, who's also Miami's starting strong safety. And we'll get a look at the option quarterback, Maurice DeShazo, through the first 2 weeks, 72% completions, 4 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He ranks 4th in the country in passing efficiency, a junior out of Stewart, Virginia. Joe Swarm, the fullback, Dwayne Thomas, the tailback on first down. This is Thomas, getting free of Kevin Patrick, and finally run down by Rohan Marley at the 25. That's an 8-yard gain on first down for the sophomore, Dwayne Thomas. Dwayne Thomas just did a good job of breaking the tackle of Kevin Patrick, who, when you get a guy in the backfield like that, you've got to put the hat on him instead of just reaching out, and he was able to break away from the arm tackle and pick up good yardage. Well, the big question defensively for Miami, could they shut down this Virginia Tech running game? Joe Swarm, the fullback, brought down by the inside linebacker Robert Bass. Very close to a first down pickup. Well, the Hokies going with Dwayne Thomas and Joe Swarm in the backfield. Antonio Freeman, their game breaker, as a split end. And up front, Jim Pine, the center, an All-American candidate. They say he's got 1,999 consecutive snaps without allowing a sack.
Well, he must play well today and keep Warren Sapp out of that backfield if they're going to have success.
It is a first down, Virginia Tech, and nothing doing for Dwayne Thomas on the right side. Carl Richardson, Robert Bass, and Corwin Francis smothering the sophomore Dwayne Thomas.
Here you see Bass just doing a good job of filling in the gap and avoiding the blocker and just standing Thomas up, and he gets a lot of help from Corwin Francis and C.J. Richardson. As you see the Hurricanes making plays in the backfield.
Lost a yard, brings up 2nd and 11 for Virginia Tech with 2:18 to play, first quarter. That's Sanders in motion. Joe Swarm, the fullback, picks up 2. Warren Sapp, number 76. Robert Bass, number 49, making the stop on the senior out of Falls Church, Virginia. Warren Sapp, just a sophomore, but a star on the rise for Miami. Linebackers, Corwin Francis, the defensive star at Boston College with 14 tackles. And Dexter Siegler, he's intercepted a pass in 4 consecutive games for Miami. 3rd down and 6, Virginia Tech trying to keep their first drive alive at their own 32-yard line. First throw for DeShazo. Looking for Sanders, incomplete. Excellent coverage by Dexter Siegler, and DeShazo running for his life.
The Hurricanes came after DeShazo on that play. They weren't going to allow him to go back and sit in the pocket and throw the football on rhythm, so they came after him with a blitz, and then he showed you why he's such a talented quarterback, showing his elusiveness to get outside the pocket and almost coming up with a big play.
Robbie Colley will drop back in a punt formation. The junior from Tazewell, Virginia, will boot it toward Jonathan Harris. One down note, Robert Bass, the inside linebacker for Miami, being helped off. He sprained an ankle. So 4th down and 6, Virginia Tech trailing 7-0. And Colley spirals it. Harris backs up to the 19-yard line and cannot get away from Cornelius White. Excellent play by the redshirt freshman, Cornelius White. A 49-yard punt, -2 on the return. Minute 12 left first quarter. Hurricanes get the football back, leading 7-0.
I think you have to credit that play to a great kick by the kicker, and a little tenacity on the defender going down, refusing to be blocked, and making the tackle before Harris could get started upfield.
Matt Moore, how about your early grades for Frank Costa? This is his first Orange Bowl start. 6 for 8 on the first drive.
I'm impressed with his poise in the pocket. He's been sacked once, but even more so, he's been able to slide and find the open receiver and get the ball to him in the crucial situations on third down.
Lone setback, Donnell Bennett. Jonathan Harris in the slot. You see Chris Jones, bottom of your picture. Look out. Frank Costa goes down inside the 5, down at the 4-yard line. And the blitzing strong safety, Stacy Henley, comes up with a sack.
Well, I've got to credit that sack to Costas, because he's got to see his backside. If you've got a free blitzer coming, you know you don't have enough people over there to block, and you've got to see this guy coming and get rid of the football here. And the Hokies come up with another big play on defense and set the Hurricanes back.
A 10-yard loss on the sack by Stacy Henley. And a little intermittent for Miami here in the first quarter, which has just 30 seconds remaining in it. Again, Frank Costa calls for timeout.
Now, this is something that, as a coach, it just have to eat at you. This is the second time that they've come up to the line of scrimmage, and they're running out of time, and they can't get the play off, and he has to call timeout, which takes away the opportunity when the 2-minute drill comes of having those timeouts to help you get down and score some points.
Picking up the Heisman winner, Gino Torretta, last year. His first start came back just 2 weeks ago against Boston College. And a pretty good competition for Costa in the preseason against Ryan Collins, a very able backup. Here's your AP rankings. The Hurricanes third in both polls. The Syracuse Orangemen, the Colorado Buffaloes, Florida State Seminoles, all upcoming on Miami's schedule.
Miami, without a doubt, has a tough schedule as far as the top-notch teams that they have to play. Against teams that are not ranked and are not noted to be first-rate football teams, but along the way, they do play some top teams that will give them a test.
And it's an interesting game, a test of sorts for both teams. Virginia Tech a gauge how far their program has come, and for Miami, a real tune-up week, because next weekend they'll be at Colorado, and that will be a stern test for the Hurricanes.
When you go out and play in Colorado, first of all, you got to get used to the altitude, and having an opportunity to play Virginia Tech and maybe get. Here we see Robert Bass, who might be a little under the weather here, that the heat's getting to him, and hopefully he's going to come back and play. But we hate to see a good player like that go out.
27 seconds to play first quarter, 2nd and 20, and Costa's pass knocked down line of scrimmage. Well, Virginia Tech's defense, despite giving up the 85-yard touchdown drive in 20 plays, they've had their moments. They turned the Canes away 3 times inside the 5, and they've put heat on Frank Costa throughout this opening quarter.
One of our 3 keys to success was being able to protect the quarterback. And here you see again, once the Hokies are coming after him, they're bringing everybody, and that defensive line is just doing a good job of getting penetration and getting in the quarterback's face.
Number 98, Waverly Jackson, was in Costa's face mask that time, and he goes almost 300 pounds. Hurricanes are 4 for 4 on third down. They have it here, 3rd and 20. Costa going deep, looking for Kellison. Ball is batted up and incomplete. Chris Jones and Eastman, both in the same circle going for the football.
Yeah, there's got to be something wrong on that route. Someone ran the wrong route, because you're not on a bomb. You don't expect to see both of your receivers in the same area, even though the ball hangs a little bit here. But as you can see, Yarbrough is back in good position so that he don't get behind him, and he comes up and is able to play on the jump ball.
Mike Crissy, the transfer from Ohio State, had a great week in the opener, averaged 46 yards a punt. And he spirals this one on a line drive to Antonio Freeman. Brought down right at the 44-yard line by Carl Richardson. Excellent special teams play by C.J. Richardson. 32-yard punt, no return. 6 seconds to play in the first quarter. A 7-0 lead for Miami.
Well, that was a big play by Richardson because if he doesn't come down with the tackle here, Freeman is outside with room to run. As you can see, as soon as he catches the football, C.J. Richardson comes up, makes a big hit because he's got plenty of room out to the right side with the wall set up.
Carl Richardson, short tackling junior out of Dallas, Texas. The chase out on the option. The ball is kicked away and recovered by Miami. Warren Sapp with a fumble recovery. You know, that's the 10th fumble for Virginia Tech already this year. They've lost 5 of them.
Well, you know, Tommy Tuberville told me yesterday, the defensive coordinator, that they wanted DeSanzo to have to pitch the football because they felt like if they didn't, he would be the guy that beat him. Here you see Corin Francis on the quarterback forcing the fumble as he pitches it to one of the Hurricanes.
And Warren Sapp, the 290-pound sophomore out of Plymouth, Florida, pleased to pounce on it.
This is just an excellent play by the entire defense. Dexter Siegler comes up, takes the receiver on, as well as the back.
Well, the option offense, high risk, high reward. 7-0 Hurricanes after 1.
Will you please turn that noise down?
Can you make that TV a little louder? Isn't there any way to listen to TV and stereo the way you want to listen? Introducing MagnaSound 2000, the personal cordless headset that lets you control your own volume without bothering others. MagnaSound transmits a powerful RF signal that reaches your headset with the clearest sound you ever heard. As soft as you want, as loud as you want. Even if you leave the room, even around corners. Enjoy sports, watch TV in bed, control your own volume without annoying others. And look, you can even attach it to your stereo. MagnaSound is the perfect personal audio system, and it's yours for only $39.95. So have your credit card ready and call now.
For faster service, have your credit card ready and call the 1-800-652-2112 or send check money order for $39.95 plus $5.50 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen.
The atmosphere is charged. The players focus. Pac-10 pride is at stake, and there's no feeling like it. Get ready. The party is about to begin. The scoring drive. That's what it's all about. Beating the team. First and 10, 4th and inches. It doesn't matter. Just break the tackle. Go all the way. The only goal is taken to the zone. Pac-10 football. All season on Prime. No holds barred in the Pac-10. The Cougar attack is back, and Washington State is ready to rumble. But Rob Johnson has the Trojan offense running and gunning for the goal line. The scoring drive. That's what it's all about. Beating the team. First and 10, 4th and inches. It doesn't matter. Just break the tackle. Go all the way. The only goal is taken into the zone. Washington State and USC live Saturday at 10 on Prime.
Welcome back to Prime Network. Because of time constraints, we must move ahead in the contest. When we return, we'll have more action on Prime Network.
This is an effort to reach men and women who served in the United States Armed Forces. It concerns an offer for honorably discharged veterans and their spouses ages 45 to 75. Please use the toll-free number to respond. Call now for free information on life insurance plans that cost just $1 a week. When you qualify, you lock in the highest possible benefit amount available to you. And these life insurance benefits are guaranteed never to go down. You are eligible to apply if you served during peacetime or war, active duty or reserves, or any service branch. You are also eligible to apply if you are the spouse or widow of a veteran. Call now. Remember, only veterans, their spouses, and widows ages 45 to 75 qualify for this exclusive offer. Term life insurance for just $1 a week. Don't wait. Call this toll-free number now to get free information from Veterans Life Insurance Company. Operators are standing by to take your call.
For every athlete who trades months of training for a moment of glory. For those who have a dream to break out of the pack, take the challenge, and be the best. And
for all that see the path to victory as a lifelong adventure. We salute you. Prime Network. We deliver the dream.
Here at the Orange Bowl in downtown Miami, Florida, the Hurricanes having a difficult time with Virginia Tech. A minute in, second quarter, a 7-0 lead for Miami. And defensive end Darren Cryan of the Hurricanes wasn't overly impressed with Virginia Tech's 63-point outburst at Pittsburgh a week ago.
Yeah, he taking into consideration who they got 63 points again. I mean, it wasn't like they got it against Florida State or something, but it proves that they got a pretty, potent offense where they can really go out and put some points up on the board and, make it work a little bit harder and it's going to make a little bit better of a game.
Virginia Tech Hokies making it a football game with that sack on Costa and the fumble recovery. Dwayne Thomas in a heap of trouble, loses a yard back to the 41-yard line. Orwin Francis, number 58, and the guy we were talking about just a minute ago. Ray Lewis, the freshman from Lakeland, Florida, playing for the injured Robert Bass.
Right, here you see Ray Lewis filling in the backfield after this busted play, but Thomas does a good job with that. And said, "Hey, get away from me, rookie."
Second down, a dozen for Virginia Tech. Good fake by DeShazo, but through the hands of Dwayne Thomas out in the left flat. That'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for Virginia Tech. 13:26 left here in the second quarter. 7-0 Miami.
Hard to get a read on this Virginia Tech offense. They haven't had the football long enough.
Haven't had the football long enough. Plus, they're getting away from their game plan. Normally, they like to run that option. They've turned it over. Now you see them throwing the football a little bit more than shown in the first 2 ball games.
Steve Sanders, their flanker, wide left. DeShazo looking, finds Dwayne Thomas. Thomas picks up just a yard to the 39-yard line. Excellent tackle by the little man, Rohan Marley. 5'8", 205 pounds. He's a little wrecking ball on defense.
He's one heck of a player. He's not big, but he's a fireball, and he'll hit you. That was excellent play selection. I was sort of surprised. They tried to trick Miami by coming back with the screen after Kevin Patrick sort of sniffed it out the first time. They tried it again, and he sniffed it out again.
On 4th and 10, Robbie Colley hangs it high. Jonathan Harris clears out. And an excellent punt. Will be down inside the Miami 5-yard line by Shane Miles. No good kick coverage for Virginia Tech. Hurricanes get it back, leading 7-0.
You're watching college football on your local Prime affiliate.
Remember the running, screaming, and kicking before bed on a Sunday night?
Now it's our turn with the Cowboys and the Cardinals on Sunday Night NFL on TNT. The Super Bowl champ will be doing the running, and the Cardinals will be screaming. The Cowboys and the Cardinals, Sunday at 8 Eastern, Sunday Night NFL on TNT. And 105.9 KBPI rocks the Rockies with NFL on TNT prizes. Listen to win.
If you've been waiting for a hard-working chainsaw to tackle those tough jobs around the farm, your wait is over. The boss is back. The Steel Farm Boss. See it now at your nearby full-service Steel dealer. If you've been thinking about buying a blower, think about buying a Steel. When you see how powerful and quiet Steel blowers are, deciding to buy one will be very, very easy. See the Steel BG72 blower at your nearby Steel dealer.
LSMD is dug in for a mighty clash with Tennessee. Pete Shure leads the Vols' awesome charge on the purple and gold. Live Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on Prime.
Last October in Blacksburg, Virginia, the Hurricanes rolled up nearly 500 yards of offense, most of it through the air. Gino Torretta connecting with Lamar Thomas. A One of his 3 first-half touchdown passes, 2 of them went to Lamar Thomas in a 43-23 Hurricane victory. But having a much more difficult time of things here in the first half of this football game. With Nat Moore and Joe Rose on the field, Eric Reed welcoming you back inside the Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech acquitting themselves pretty well so far.
Last year, the Hurricanes had their way up there, but so far today, Virginia Tech defensively is doing a good job of mixing up their coverages and their blitzes. You know, the last big play where they forced the fumble, they came with a corner blitz. Sort of surprised Costa and came up with a big play once again. And that's why they're successful so far.
Big test for Frank Costa and his offense on 1st and 10 at the 5-yard line. Fennell Bennett, penalty marker down, gets just a yard around right tackle. Penalty against Miami, a holding call. Let's go downstairs to Joe Rose.
Nat, you hit it right on the head. Virginia Tech throwing every possible kind of blitz there is at the University of Miami right now. The offensive line was together. They're making a lot of mistakes. Frank Costa not picking the blitz up right now. He's really struggling. They're blitzing from everywhere at Virginia Tech.
Well, Frank Costa and his offense, Nat Moore going to have to adjust. The Hokies have backed them up and have declined the penalty. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 6-yard line.
They're sort of reeling right now on offense. They're going backwards, and you know that's what you got to do against a potent offense like the Hurricanes is, you know, put some self-doubt in there and have them wonder whether they can get the job done.
Costa has missed on his last 3 pass attempts. George Del Rico, the inside linebacker again, showing blitz. Costa rolling out of his own end zone. And he stepped out of bounds. That will not count on the Jonathan Harris catch up at the 34-yard line. Frank Costa stepped out of bounds back at the 4.
He did a good job of throwing the football, but he's got to be more aware of where he is. And here you see him step out of bounds before he lets the football go.
Big guy was chasing Costa. Waverly Jackson, the 6'3", 290-pound redshirt freshman defensive tackle. And that brings up 3rd down and 11 for Miami. 12:14 to play, 2nd quarter. Just a 7-0 lead for the nation's 3rd-ranked football team.
You know, we talk about Costa stepping out of bounds, but you have to remember he's running for his life because Waverly Jackson showed a little speed there.
Derek Harris, lone setback for Miami. Wimberly to the top. Chris Jones and Jonathan Harris to the bottom. Costa out of his end zone, incomplete. Costa felt the heat that time from Hank Coleman. The Tech's pass rush has Miami reeling right now. They'll have to punt it from deep in their own end zone.
Well, they're really showing no respect for that Miami offense at this point. They're just coming after him and say, beat me if you can. And they're getting in Costa's face. They're hitting him every time he releases the ball, even if they don't come down with the rest. So you have to give Virginia Tech a for the way they're playing football at this point.
Mike Chrissy's first punt traveled just 32 yards. This one caught on a fair catch by Antonio Freeman at the 42-yard line. A 37-yard punt that time for Mike Chrissy. Good field position, 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech at the Miami 42 with 12 minutes to play. Here in the 2nd quarter, Maurice DeShazo and the Hokies trailing 7-0.
What'll be interesting here, Eric, to see if Virginia Tech goes back to their offense. The offense that they were able to amaze 500 yards with last week, and that's that option.
Joe Swarm, Wayne Thomas, the running backs in the eye. Kenny Holmes and Patrick Riley engaging in some combat line of scrimmage. 3 penalty markers fly. Hurricanes have Kenny Holmes and Pat Riley in on that defensive front along with Kevin Patrick and Warren Sapp. Ray Lewis, the new inside linebacker for the injured Robert Bass. It's offsides against Miami. And you see Holmes, was redshirt freshman from Vero Beach, number 90, coming across.
Right, he's just a little over anxious, want to get in and get some action there, want to hit somebody, and jumps offside. But you know, they've got to show more poise than what they've been doing. And you know, Miami right now is making every mistake possible, and they're just fortunate that they're up 7-zip.
Cornelius White to the right. This is Dwayne Thomas sweeping left. And another penalty marker down. Carl Richardson, Ray Lewis, and Warren Sapp stopping Dwayne Thomas for no gain. This one a hold on Virginia Tech.
Well, we've got to hope he's walking backwards. But once again, the disturbing thing is it was a 5-yard gain. Just a straight ahead off-tackle power play, and Dwayne Thomas bounces it outside and picks up 5 yards, but you see the pursuit, the quickness of that Hurricane defense as they all come in and gang tackle in the end. There's a shot at holding where they were holding Riley, and he did a good job of disposing of the blocker and getting outside.
On the Miami 49-yard line, 1st and 17 for Tech. Ray Lewis wrapping up Dwayne Thomas with an assist from Rohan Marley. And Ray Lewis, number 52, the freshman from Lakeland, Florida, making his presence known right from the start.
And he's showing you why the Miami defensive coaching staff is so high on him. And we've seen him twice now fill the gap, come in and make a big play. Here you see he's isolated. Boom, big tackle. Here he stands him straight up, doesn't give him any room to run.
Ray Lewis signed late with the Hurricanes, called up defensive coordinator Tommy Tuberville early in July, said, "Coach, I've passed my test scores. You got a scholarship for me?" DeShazer on 2nd and 18. Sack back at the 42-yard line. And big number 43, Patrick Riley, along with Kevin Patrick, put the wrapper on him.
Just a great job by Kevin Patrick there of pushing that defensive tackle back past the quarterback and then swooping in on him, coming down with the sack. Kevin Patrick does a good job of just pushing that offensive tackle back, and then boom, here he goes, and then Patrick Riley coming in on top.
The 15th career sack for Kevin Patrick, and his 2nd this year. 3rd and a bundle. 3rd and 25 for Virginia Tech. Back at their own 43. DeShazer on the keeper. Breaks away from Ray Lewis, but not from Terrace Harris, the free safety. Down to the Miami 46-yard line. But on 3rd and 25, way short. A 4th down punting situation for Robbie Colley and the Virginia Tech Hokies with 10 minutes to play. First half, and the Hurricanes still in front, 7-0.
Still in front, but we need a big play. We need Jonathan Harris or someone to stand up and do something big. You know, in the past, they've had Kevin Williams back there running it back, and here's an opportunity to help your team out.
Another excellent punt and fortuitous bounce for Virginia Tech. This one rolls dead at the Miami 3-yard line. So the Hurricane offense back in the shadows of their own goalpost. The 7-0 lead will be right back after this.
The Faces of Prime Network, a collection of expressions revealing the game's hidden truth, concentration, and determination, the will to win, and the strength to never give up, even when defeat is staring you down. It's pure joy and satisfaction of overcoming insurmountable odds and complete frustration after coming up short. The Faces of Prime Network is where you really see the game.
Attention homeowners, coming your way now from Sears, the home heating professionals. 0% finance charge, no billing, no payments till January 94. When you take advantage of Sears pre-season installed heating offer on Sears Charge Home Improvement Plan. Call now to arrange your free in-home estimate. Then have Sears install your new energy-efficient Kenmore furnace. This Kenmore 80 can save up to 32% of your energy costs. Furnaces like this are priced from just $649 installation extra. Any Kenmore furnace is yours at 0% finance charge till January 94. But call now and ask for this option. Sears pre-season heating offer ends October 4th. At Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Call now for Sears 0% finance charge, no billing, no payments till January 94. For all your heating and cooling needs, you can count on Sears, the most trusted name around the house.
9th 1:38 left here in the first half at the Orange Bowl. Third-ranked Miami encountering a few more problems than they might have expected, and most of those problems coming from the Virginia Tech defensive front. Don't forget, Major League Baseball action Sunday, and the Cubs host the Marlins at Wrigley Field live at 1:45 of the pregame show. Jay Randolph, Gary Carter, and Paul Kennedy with all the Marlins action here on Sunshine Network. On first down, another penalty marker as Donnell Bennett rumbles to the 10-yard line. A gain of 7, but will it stand? 2 penalty markers, one at the 3, one inside the Miami end zone.
I think we've got an offside against the Hokies and a holding on Perry, the left tackle.
Matt Moore, the Hurricane offense, struggling a bit. Just the 85-yard, 20-play drive that got him 7 points in the first quarter when Larry Jones went in from a yard out on fourth down. The offense has struggled. This is the second consecutive drive they start inside their own 5-yard line. Glad he took care of all that.
That's been kind of hard to decipher. But here you go. Once again, you've got the offensive line. They're just not getting any movement up front, even though Donnell Bennett is able to get outside. But ironically, that first drive, they were blowing them off the football. There was plenty of room to run up the middle, and we just don't see those holes anymore.
Chris Jones, A.C. Tellison, Jonathan Harris, all flanked to the left. Donnell Bennett, 3 yards deep in the end zone. First down and 10 for Miami. And Bennett, a yard or 2 up to the 5-yard line.
Good run by Donnell there. Once again, the Hokies got penetration in the backfield. He was able to make someone miss him. Cornell Brown was in the backfield, and he was able to sidestep him and get a gain of 2 yards, but he should have been hit in the backfield once again. Miami's got to figure out that defense and start to get some movement up front.
That's what Bennett did a couple weeks ago at Boston College. Second down, 8 for Frank Costa and his Hurricanes. Jonathan Harris makes the catch, cannot get away from the strong safety, Stacy Henley. A loss, actually a gain of a yard up to the 6-yard line. Good short tackle for the junior, Stacy Henley.
Here you see Frankie's looking out weak, quick throw, and once again, the Hokies have done a good job of defending, mixing it up. They're sitting back in the zone, coming up, making the tackle before he can gain enough for the first down.
Hurricanes picked up first down on third down. First 4 times they were faced with it. They've missed on their last 4 third down tries. Third down and 7. What's coming? And incomplete to Saeed Tucker up at the 15-yard line. Again, coverage by Stacy Henley. And again, heat on the quarterback, Frank Costa.
Once again, he's getting hit just as he's releasing the ball. He sees the blitz. He gets rid of it early. And Saeed has to come down with that ball. That was a catchable ball, and he needs to make some plays to help his quarterback out.
He makes that catch. Miami's still moving with a first down. And not much room to move for the punter, Mike Chrissy. Loads of room for Antonio Freeman. Awaiting this Chrissy boot. Inside midfield. Now he'll backpedal to the 10-48. He loses the football. Still loose. Paul Richardson picks it up. He'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami.
Until that play, the Hokies were winning the game, the kicking game. And once again, you see Dexter Ziegler come up with a big play. Recovers the ball and runs it in for the touch. I'm not sure whether they'll allow that. You know, I think they're going to call it a muff. C.J. Richardson keeping Antonio Freeman from picking the ball up. Oh, it's C.J. Richardson that picks the ball up. I'm sorry. And does a good job of running it in, but I'm not sure they will allow it. I think they'll call it a muff and bring it back. It's Hurricane football.
Well, you're exactly right, Nat Moore. Carl Richardson's run into the end zone. A lot of fun, but it won't count.
It looked good for the highlights.
But the Hurricanes do have it 1st and 10 with just under 8 minutes left in the second quarter. A big break for the nation's third-ranked team in a dogfight with the unranked Virginia Tech Hokies. 7-0 our score here at the Orange Bowl.
Big break, plus it regains field position. They've been playing out of the shadows of their own end zone and really wasn't able to get anything accomplished. Now they've got a chance to open up their offense. They've got a lot of working room. They don't have to worry about the quarterback being sacked for safety.
Well, been some rough sledding for Frank Costa and the offense here in the first half. We'll see what they can do with this gift-wrapped opportunity. The Antonio Freeman fumble on the punt. Miami will have it 1st and 10 at the Virginia Tech 32-yard line. Frank Beamer brought 4 new assistant coaches on his staff this year, looking to turn it around after 2-8-1 a year ago. Ferguson gets the give on 1st down, but that's all he gets. George Del Rico, a linebacker, J.C. Price, and Dwayne Knight, all smothering Daniel Ferguson. Okay.
Well, they're just doing a good job of pushing Rudy Barber and Ricky Perry. You know, they're not getting any movement up front, and it's not allowing the back anywhere to run the football. The Hokies defensive line is just doing a fantastic job of not allowing them breathing room.
Actually lost 2 on the play. Good hit by Del Rico, the sophomore from Seabrook, Maryland. From the 34, 2nd and a dozen. Costa looking for Jones, makes the catch at the 15-yard line. Chris Jones running the slant. Nice grab, pickup of 19 yards, and a 1st down for Miami.
That was a good throw by Frank in between the coverage. They were in a zone defense. The only thing that I'm not sure about whether some of these sacks could be avoided because Frank really doesn't get a good drop on his 3-step drop. He backpedals out, and he's only getting 2 yards depth from the line of scrimmage, which makes it a lot tougher for that offensive line to protect him.
Chris Jones beating the coverage by Torian Gray. On 1st down, Ferguson juggles it, loses it. And let's see who's recovered the football. The Hokies signaling they have it, and they do. Daniel Ferguson juggled the pitch, and Dwayne Knight, the outside linebacker from Newport News, Virginia, gives the Virginia Tech fans something to shout about.
All right, this is not good football by any stretch of imagination. Here you see Ferguson. He's trying to make a cut. He takes his eyes off the ball, and then he tries to make a cut without having possession of it. So he just compounded the errors by making 2 errors on the same play and coughing the football up.
Miami did not fumble it in their opener at Boston College. They put it on the ground and have lost it twice here in the first half, which has 6:50 left. Tommy Edwards, the redshirt freshman, who leads America with 6 touchdowns through 2 games. Bursting to the 24, a pickup of 6 on his first carry.
Well, he's the guy that's known as Touchdown Tommy, and last week with 4 touchdowns, he's showing why they are so high on him as a freshman.
2nd down 4 for Virginia Tech. Their own 23. Here's the fullback, Brian Edmonds. And he cannot drag Ray Lewis or Kevin Patrick around. And that's a loss of 1. Carl Richardson starting strong safety for the Hurricanes. Virginia Tech 0 for 3 on 3rd down. They have 3rd and 2. Edmonds and Edwards in the eye set. Chazo on the pitch to Edwards. And he has the 1st down up across the 33-yard line. Run out of bounds by Corwin Francis.
We've got a player down.
7-yard pickup for Tommy Edwards.
You know, that last play, the Hokies changed their blocking scheme where they brought the flanker back in to crack on the safety. Steve Sanders came in and did a good job of blocking C.J. Richardson, and he's paying for it now. You know, after being a flanker, I always enjoy blocking those small guys, but when they knock you down and put you down for the count, you have to talk to the coach about having you do that blocking scheme. Here you see just a great block by him, and he just knocked himself out. And you see Tommy Edwards going for the first down. You know, I have to say that the Virginia Tech has done a good job of making the adjustment. So far, we have not seen that with Miami. They're still getting blown off the ball offensively and defensively right now. They're losing the battle on the line of scrimmage, which you must control if you're going to win the football game.
Miami leading in this football game, 7-0, 5.5 minutes left, second quarter. It has been a surprising first half. Here's Edwards, and he gets a couple, 3 hard yards up the middle to the 38-yard line. Darren Cryan and Carl Richardson in on the stop of touchdown, Tommy Edwards. Of his 6 touchdowns already this year, 5 have come on 1-yard runs.
They weren't going to tell the viewers that.
Did take a screen pass 55 yards for a score at Pitt a week ago.
Surprisingly, Tommy has real good speed for a big guy, and you know, when he gets an open field, he knows how to find that end zone.
Maurice DeShazo at quarterback, 2nd and 6 for Virginia Tech. This is the fullback, Brian Edmonds, rumbling up to the 45. Nearly a 6-yard gain, and another Virginia Tech first down. Ray Lewis makes the stop. You can feel the Virginia Tech option beginning to get on track.
Yeah, they're starting to feel confidence, and they're using that fullback. You know, fullback is the first option on that in an option offense, and you know, until you stop the fullback, they're just going to keep giving it to him.
Big play here for Virginia Tech. 3rd down, less than a yard, just shy of their own 45-yard line. Edmonds and Edwards behind DeShazo. Edwards close to the first down. Warren Sapp, number 76. That's a first down pickup for Tommy Edwards and the Virginia Tech Hokies.
And Miami went to a 5-man line here to try and get penetration, their goal line defense, and Tommy Edwards was still strong enough to drive forward for that 1 yard that they needed for the first down.
Steve Sanders back into the football game. The flanker comes bottom of your screen. High running backs on 1st and 10. DeShazo slipping away, getting into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. Ray Lewis roped him down. But a pickup of 5 for the junior quarterback out of Stewart, Virginia. His coach, Frank Beamer, told us yesterday, Nat, he feels that DeShazo is the most complete option quarterback in the country.
Well, you know, he just does a good job of executing the offense, but he also is a big kid that can break tackles. He broke the tackle of Rohan Marley there and was able to pick up 5 yards where it should have been a 2-yard loss.
3 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the second quarter. The Hokies are marching. Wayne Thomas, not much. A yard at most. Ray Lewis, the inside linebacker, Kenny Lopez, and Warren Sapp on the stop of sophomore Dwayne Thomas.
You have to be impressed with the freshman Ray Lewis, because every time his number's been called and they've cut back in the middle, he's been there to stuff it, and once again he comes up with the play. He's in the backfield.
A burgeoning linebacker star is Ray Lewis out of Lakeland, Florida. He goes 6 feet 1, 217 pounds. 3rd down and 4 for the Hokies with 2:35 left, second quarter. Thomas on the flip. First down. All White runs him out at the Miami 42. A 6-yard gain for Dwayne Thomas and another Virginia Tech first down.
Perfect execution once again by DeShazo on the option. And as you see, he comes out, he forces everybody to take him, and then he gets Thomas out one-on-one, and he picks up the first down.
Dwayne Thomas averages 128 yards a game, 9th best in the NCAA through a couple of weeks. This is the 8th play of this Virginia Tech drive. All of it's come on the ground for Maurice DeShazo and company. On 1st and 10, DeShazo looking deep, goes down. Warren Sapp with the sack. of 8 or 9 yards as Sapp and Darren Cryan come up with the sack.
Here you see DeShazzo goes back, and they're trying to hit Freeman going down the left side, and Warren Sapp comes in and doesn't give him time to step up and throw the football.
Well, Antonio Freeman has been the big playmaker as a wide receiver for Virginia Tech, but he was shut out last week at Pitt. Hasn't had a catch yet today. Nice run by Thomas on 2nd and 18. He gets about 12 of those yards back.
But Thomas is just a big, strong runner that runs with reckless abandon. That, once he decides that where he's going to go, he puts his shoulder down, he goes north and south. There you see, he's getting wide. He decides to cut it back, leaps through, and just keeps grinding to try and pick up the extra yardage.
Wayne Thomas out of Bishop Faroe in Fort Myers backed up Juan Hebron last year at Tech. Hebron, a rookie free agent who made it with the Eagles. On 3rd down, DeShazzo keeps it, and Patrick Riley wrapped him up with an assist from Baraka Short, number 50. And that'll be well short of a Virginia Tech first down and bring upon a 4th down and 8 with a minute left here in the second quarter. 7-0, Miami out in front. Only the Larry Jones 1-yard touchdown run back in the first quarter. And we get a timeout. Miami calls for time with 49 seconds to play here in the second period. It has been an unusual first half, Nat Moore. Well, with the Hurricanes leading 7-0, let's find out what's taking place down on that Hurricane sideline. We go to Joe Rose.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Nat. While this great football game is taking place, a lot of volunteers from the University of Miami are doing something very special. It's called the Flood Relief, helping Iowa victims with those floods that we've been seeing. As you can see, lots of money being donated. The fans have been gracious. I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you volunteered your time for today's game?
I'd say it's at least 60, 70 people.
Probably more, yeah.
It's a great thing. How much money do you think we're going to raise, and what caused you guys to come do this for the opener today?
Last year, the opening game, they took up money for us for no reason, really. So this year, we're lucky we get a chance to pay them back.
Any thoughts real quickly?
I'm from the Midwest, Kansas City, so I think it's really great what we're doing, helping out the flood victims. I think we will pull in a lot of money today, helping them out.
Okay, guys, well, we have a great game going on. It's great to see people open up their wallets for such a great cause. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Joe Rose. Eric Reed with Nat Moore upstairs in the booth. 49 seconds left in a first half, and I would guess that man is very pleased with Frank Beamer, but a decision for him now. 4th and 6 from the 37-yard line in Miami territory. You're trailing 7-0, 49 seconds to play in this second quarter.
Well, I don't think he has anything to lose. He's got to go for it. They seem to have Miami on the ropes. Just as Miami called timeout, their defense looked a little tired. They've been on the field a lot this half. And ironically, he's changed his mind, and he's going to punt the football, just as we spoke.
Interesting decision for Frank Beamer, playing a little bit safe. And he'll send Robbie Colley in the punt it from midfield. The Hurricanes have nobody back in punt return formation. And this one sails into the end zone. So Miami makes out just fine. They still lead it 7-0, and with 41 seconds left in the first half, it's a 7-0 lead for Miami. But this is a Hurricane team that has struggled on both sides of the football so far through a half.
Yeah, except for that first drive, and even in that drive, they made a lot of mistakes. Miami has really struggled offensively. Defensively, they've been able to stop them when they had to, but ironically, it's been a game where Virginia Tech has been superior.
Plenty of single-game tickets for Hurricane home games here at the Orange Bowl. For ticket information, call 800-GO-CANES. See what Miami comes up with here in the final 41 seconds of the first half. On first down, time for Costa, and caught by Chris Jones up at the 32-yard line. 12-yard gain, and another nice grab for Chris Jones, the junior from West Palm Beach, Florida. 36 seconds left in the first half. And the Hurricanes probably won't play it safe here. They'll look to strike quickly in our closing seconds first half. Frank Costa sends Jones wide to the right. Harris in the slot on 1st and 10. Donnell Bennett the lone setback. The screen complete to Bennett. And Bennett bounces off 3 Hokies to get out of bounds and stop the clock with 28 ticks left on it. And penalty markers fly again here at the Orange Bowl.
That was just a lot of determination on by young back Donnell Bennett of knowing what he needed to do to get out of bounds, to stop the clock, and he just broke tackle after tackle. And by putting forth all of that effort, he's going to be rewarded with a 15-yard penalty for being hit late. You see Coleman almost spying in there and almost picked off that quick screen, or that middle screen, shall I say, to Bennett. But you have to wonder, if Virginia Tech has had such great success coming after them, why now are they playing a zone defense and allowing them to just move the ball down the field?
Oh, those 2-minute woes.
You wonder if a 2-minute offense is that good. As a fan, how come they don't do it the whole ball game?
Well, the defense has a bunch to do with it as well in the final minute of a half or a game. But how about Donnell Bennett running with the determination that he plays with? Jamie German, the freshman, top of your picture on 1st and 10 from the Hokie 47. Short drop, and nearly intercepted. That ball thrown behind Chris Jones.
Well, once again, they went man and came after him, and you see the errant pass. So Costa seems to be a kid that's not handling the pressure well at this point, and this is only his second start. So as a coach, a defensive coach, you say, well, let's test him. Let's go after him and see if he can handle the pressure. And that's what they're doing.
Frank Costa has hit 10 of 18, 127 yards through the air in this first half. 25 seconds left in it. Second down and 10 for the Canes at the Tech 47. Costa has his man complete. Cy Tucker for the first down. Needed 10, gained 11. Clock winding down, 17 seconds to play in the half. From the Tech 36. Costa stops the clock. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. 15 seconds left in the second quarter to add to their 7-0.
They're doing a good job of moving the football, but Virginia Tech is helping them by playing that zone defense. If you go back and you look at the success that Frank Costa has had today, it's been against the zone. He's 11 of 19 for 138 yards, but I would say 10 of those 11 versus the zone. When they've come after him with either blitz or played man coverage,
at the same degree of success.
Well, Costa said after the Boston College game, I got some of the doubts out of the way, but it was just one game. On 2nd and 10, deep drop for Costa. Loads of time, and a wide-open Cy Tucker, but Costa bounced it in, incomplete. And at the 10-yard line, Tucker was uncovered.
Well, that was 6. If he can just get the ball in, fit it in there, he had him for 6, but I think Costa tried to aim that one. He was so wide open, he didn't want to miss him. He's got good protection. He's sitting back. He's got a good deep drop where he can read the field. And here he just tries to aim it instead of just throwing the football, letting his natural ability take over.
Hurricanes could use a big play here. 3rd and 10. 8 seconds left in the second period. From the Tech 36. Chris Jones dropped it. Would have been a first down at the 18-yard line. Defensive coverage in the secondary from Larry Green, and Jones can't figure it out.
Well, he made the mistake as a receiver. That kind of ball, you've got to catch the ball in your hands. He let the ball get to his body, and it comes off the pad. So he's so intent in trying to catch it and get out of bounds to stop the clock, but he's got to take care of catching the football first, and he's got to believe in his hands. Catch the football in your hands. Young receivers, take note of that.
2 seconds left here in the first half, so Frank Costa will dial 1 before throwing. He needs to get it into the end zone. Last play of the half. Caught by Marcus Wimberly, but out of bounds. So it will not count, and that ends a bizarre first half here at the Orange Bowl. The Hurricanes scored the first time they touched the football, but it took them 20 plays to go 85 yards. Larry Jones with a 1-yard touchdown run, and that's all the scoring we saw here at the Orange Bowl in Miami's home opener. Miami leads Virginia Tech at halftime, 7-0.
Page 365.
Medications that can rob you of your sex life.
Page 141.
The secret ingredient in Italian foods that can help lower cholesterol.
Page 545.
How to silence a snorer.
This is...
Matt Moore, we were impressed with what Virginia Tech accomplished through their first 2 football games, and even more impressed after this first half.
Right. Today, Virginia Tech is controlling the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, and that's why they're still in this ball game, because Miami has not been able to execute offensively, and defensively, they're getting pushed around.
Just the 1 touchdown drive for Miami. First time they had the football, they went 20 plays, 85 yards. A drive that began with a big play from a big playmaker, freshman Jamie German.
Well, Jamie German is the guy that everybody's been waiting to see. He came in here with so much height, and here you see him on the flanker screen where he comes in, he catches the ball, and this is what we're looking for. Him showing that quickness and that ability to run in the open field, and he comes up with a big 21-yard gain.
And that was on a 3rd down play when Miami really needed it. Now, the Hurricanes had a few opportunities inside the Virginia Tech 5-yard line. They finally got it in with Larry Jones going over the top for a 1-yard touchdown. Let's go downstairs. Joe Rose is standing by with Virginia Tech head coach Frank Beamer.
Thank you guys very much. Coach Frank Beamer will be with us in just a second, the head coach from Virginia Tech. Obviously, the team right now very excited about the way they played at this point. Coach, I got to ask you real quickly, you got to be very pleased defensively the way this team played in the first half.
Yeah, we are. Defensively, I thought we came around and got some pressure on their quarterback and had them out of their rhythm a little bit. Offensively, we got to pick up the slack, though.
What's happened in the second half, Coach? What do you look to do maybe offensively to score some points?
I think the whole key right now is, well, does our offense control the ball right now? I think that's the whole key.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck, Coach. Right back up to you guys. Good-looking plan for Virginia Tech in the second half.
Thanks very much, Joe Rose. Nat Moore, no question, the pass rush of Virginia Tech in the first half disrupted Miami's offense.
Well, they did a great job of just mixing up their coverages and their blitzes, and they came after Frank Costas in so many different fashions. Here you see him getting a drop, and all of a sudden, here comes the corner from the weak side where, you know, he's got to be able to see that. You know, he's going back, he's looking one way, and he's not scanning the field.
Well, you wonder, might Dennis Erickson go to Ryan Collins, his number 2 quarterback in the second half? We'll find out when the third quarter begins, right after this on Sunshine Network.
You're watching college football on your local Prime affiliate.
Would you play? If you've been waiting for a hard-working chainsaw to tackle those tough jobs around the farm, your wait is over. The boss is back. The Steel Farm Boss. See it now at your nearby full-service steel dealer. If you've been thinking about buying a blower, think about buying a Steel. When you see how powerful and quiet Steel blowers are, deciding to buy one will be very, very easy. See the Steel BG72 blower at your nearby Steel dealer.
A good automobile is something to be treasured.
Ranked Virginia Tech team. Miami hasn't lost to an unranked team in a long, long while. Not since 1984, when unranked Maryland came to the Orange Bowl and knocked off Miami 42-40. Scott Barnwell about to kick the third quarter off. This one settling down to Dwayne Thomas, 8 yards deep in the end zone. Touchback, 1st and 10, Virginia Tech at the 20-yard line. Here are the first half numbers, just 2 yards passing for Virginia Tech, but just 2 yards rushing for Miami.
Well, that's the surprising number. You know, Miami really controlled the football that first drive where they had the 20 play, but ironically, it was mostly on third down where they were able to come up with a big play to maintain possession of the football. They're just not getting any movement up front, and the backs have nowhere to run.
Well, that's got to be disappointing to Dennis Erickson. Maurice DeShazo on first down, gives it to Dwayne Thomas, and he pulls Ray Lewis for 3 yards up to the 23-yard line. Ray Lewis, the freshman from Lakeland, Florida, filling in for the injured Robert Bass, who went out first quarter with a sprained knee. Hurricanes going with Lewis as the middle linebacker. Here are your individual numbers. 8 carries, 28 yards for Thomas. DeShazo just 1 for 3. Second down and 6. Option flip to Thomas. Has the first down up to the 33-yard line. Brought down by the free safety, Terrace Harris. And that's Virginia Tech at their best. DeShazo making the decision on the option flip back.
Well, DeShazo is doing a good job of executing here. You see him pull it out from the fullback. Rohan Mullen forces him to pitch. So what they're not getting is Paul White was not able to fight off Antonio Freeman and come up and make the play on the back early. And they're getting the big gain to keep this drive going.
That was a 10-yard rush for Dwayne Thomas. Steve Sanders to the right. Antonio Freeman, top of your screen on first down. Again, it's Thomas. And again, he runs right in to Ray Lewis, number 52, in the center of attention in this football game.
Ray Lewis is doing a good job of scraping off the blocks and coming out to the left and right and filling the gap. But Darren Klein was the guy that really made this play here, where he stuffs the guard and forces Thomas back inside to Ray Lewis.
Second down and 10 for Tech. They're on 34. First drive, third quarter. Joe Swarm, the fullback, up to the 35-yard line. Warren Sapp got him around the ankles, brought down Swarm after a short game.
Miami's defensive line is starting to play with a little bit more authority, and they're starting to control it a little bit better. The only thing that's hurting them so far this half is the option, and it's going to be up to the linebacker and the strong safety to make that play.
Third down and 9 for the Hokies. At the 35. DeShazo in trouble, brought down by Darren Klein. Back at the 32-yard line, loss of 3, and Darren Klein with a big sack. So 3 and out for the Tech offense on their first try here in the second half.
Here you see Darren Klein getting good pressure in the backfield, but then having good vision to see DeShazo coming out and comes off and comes down with the sack.
That's the 4th sack today for the Hurricane defense. Robbie Colley will punt it to Jonathan Harris, awaiting back at the 32. Nice punt. Harris at the 25. Harris at the 30. And to the 34-yard line. 12:14 left in the third quarter. A punt of 43 yards, short return, and will return with the Hurricanes leading Virginia Tech 7-6. 34.
Dempsey and Tummy, Cornell and Bear, and many, many more. Rare dynamic fight footage preserved on state-of-the-art videotape. You can be there for the fantastic fights of the century. Call now to own them. Call now for the fantastic fights of the century on modern videotape for only $19.95. Call now. 2 volumes of the fantastic fights of the century, yours for just $19.95. 2 state-of-the-art videotapes with the fights you've only heard about, yours for just $19.95. But you must call now to take advantage of this special television offer. You must call now.
Call now to order this 2-volume set for only $19.95. These fantastic fights make a perfect gift. For faster delivery, please have your credit card ready and call 1-800-652-2112. 1-800-652-2112. The game's greatest moments are on Prime Network.
Look at Derwin take it right to the hole. Wow! 54 laps into it, and the differential is not a car length. Oh, we have got a great race going on.
Eric Freed, Matt Moore, Joe Rose here at the Orange Bowl, where the Hurricanes lead Virginia Tech third quarter 7-0. Sunshine's next University of Miami football telecast comes your way Saturday, October 2nd at 11 p.m. The Georgia Southern Eagles come to the Orange Bowl to battle the nationally ranked Hurricanes. Hope you'll be with us for all the action right here on Sunshine Network. The Miami offense back on the turf of the Orange Bowl. Fidel Bennett leading rusher first half, 5 for 19. Chris Jones, 4 catches, 72 yards. Big first half. The defense getting a lecture over on the Hurricane bench. First and 10 Miami, their own 34. Lone setback is Bennett, and Costa gives it to him. Just a yard for Donnell Bennett. George Del Rico, number 41, and Brown, number 44, swarming to the ball carrier.
Well, once again, they're running Bennett behind Rudy Barber and Ray Perry, the connection from Carroll City. And they're not really getting much movement here. As you see, he's hitting it up in there, but Barber gets beat there, and Del Rico comes in and makes the tackle.
Marcus Wimberly, Jamie German, and Jonathan Harris all split to the left on 2nd down and 8. Costa feeling the pressure, but completing it to Marcus Wimberly. First down gain in the Virginia Tech territory at the 45-yard line, where Stacy Henley wraps up Marcus Wimberly. First catch in the career of Marcus Wimberly, the redshirt freshman from Memphis, a 19-yard gain.
That just goes to show you how much talent this Miami football team has at receiver. When you could bring in a Jermaine German, a Marcus Wimberly, and all of a sudden you're talking about these are the guys of the future, the guys that show that quickness and speed of foot.
Out of a shotgun on 1st and 10 for Costa and the Canes. Now he comes back up to the line of scrimmage. From the Tech 46. Costa looking over the middle. Pass Tellison. Penalty marker down. Tellison in for the touchdown. If it stands, 45 yards and the first touchdown in A.C. Tellison's career. There's a penalty marker down.
I think it's going to stand. I think it's against the Hokies and with a pass interference, but let's see.
A 45-yard touchdown hookup. Frank Costa to A.C. Tellison. Matt Moore, they've become a big play duo.
Big play duel, and this is what the Miami fans are accustomed to. Their quarterback finding that open receiver that can get it in the end zone, and A.C. Tellison showed why. He is expected to be the replacement for Lamar Thomas of many, many years, putting the touchdowns in the end zone for the Hurricanes.
Dane Pruitt to attempt the point-after touchdown for Miami. Nails it. Now Frank Costa's first touchdown pass as a starter, and his third career touchdown. 45 yards up top to A.C. Tellison, and the Hurricanes lead Virginia Tech at the Orange Bowl 14-0.
Well, they caught him in a man coverage with no one in the middle of the field and had a double slant route, and A.C. was able to get it and go at the distance.
You're watching college football on your local Prime affiliate.
If you've been waiting for a hard-working chainsaw to tackle those tough jobs around the farm, your wait is over.
Hey, what do these songs have in common?
Here in Miami, nice breeze blowing into the open end of the Orange Bowl. Hurricanes leading by 2 touchdowns, moving closer to their 29th consecutive regular
season win, and their 52nd in a row here at the place they call home.
Well, right now, Miami will take a victory any way they can get it. It's not pretty, but they do have command of the game and an opportunity to go in and score and build on that lead.
First First and 10 at the Tech 18. Again, penalty markers flying. And that ball flying through the hands of Chris Jones at the 10-yard line. Well, this game has been penalty marred. Both clubs making too many mistakes. Scott Jones, the right side corner, still down for Virginia Tech. This is a thinning secondary. They were without two starters today. Tyrone Drakeford, their best defensive back, and Antonio Banks, their starting free safety. Penalty is an offsides call against Virginia Tech. So Miami will get it first down and 5. And it should be at the Virginia Tech 13-yard line.
Well, the last 20 yards or so has been credited to Virginia Tech. They're helping Miami keep the drive alive and move down the field by making mistakes. And it's a real sloppy ball game, Eric, but you know, what are you going to do? Miami's had 2 weeks off or had a week off, so they've had that off week, and sometimes you lose that sharpness with the off week. Hopefully this game will help them get it back for next week in Colorado, but they've got to become a better football team. I hate to keep harping on that, but we're so used to seeing great football here in Miami that I expect to see that next week.
Well, it was Lawrence Lewis, number 56, that bolted offsides for Virginia Tech. And that's how Scott Jones banged the right knee. And he is being helped off to the Virginia Tech sideline. Let's go downstairs. Another edition of Joe's World.
Thank you very much, Eric. Well, do you recognize this face or not? Yes, it's not NFL Day. Minnesota has the week off. This is Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner, quarterback of the Hurricanes a year ago. Gino, nice to have you here today.
Oh, thanks. It's nice to be back in the Orange Bowl. You know, we got a week off, so I get a little time off.
We're just talking. It's nice to see somebody else taking all those blitzes today. How do you think Frank's doing to this point?
He's doing all right. I think you got to put a little more points on the board, but, you know, as usual, the defense is playing real well to get the offense going. I'm sure a couple weeks, you know, everything will be clicking real well.
Last year, looking back, going from college to the pros, what's the big difference you've seen so far?
I think, you know, as far as we had a lot of great athletes down here, but I think offensively and defensive line, I mean, you see the best athletes in the NFL, guys that are just incredible, and I think that's the biggest difference.
Okay, Gino, good luck to you. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks very much, Joe Rose. We are through 3 quarters here at the Orange Bowl, which is just west of downtown Miami. We're just minutes away from the 4th quarter and a 14-0 Miami lead against Virginia Tech.
Now, Golf Digest, the #1 magazine in golf, introduces something guaranteed to lower your score. 8 ways to a better golf game. It can help you experience the game you always knew you had inside of you. A game that can make you better off the tee. Better out of the sand. Better on the green. Better all around. Experience the game that's inside of you. Get the 8 ways to a better golf game video. It's guaranteed to improve your game, and it's free with your paid subscription to Golf Digest. That's right, free. If you think you can do without it, think again. Order 12 issues of Golf Digest for just $19.77 now, and get the latest video free. Call 800-652-2112. That's 800-652-2112.
It's tough being a fan when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if I can find last week's score. But if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News, no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and analysis, team-by-team reports, and coverage of all the college conferences, plus baseball, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues of the Sporting News. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and you'll get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free. Call 1-800-522-5333.
sweet it has been at the Orange Bowl over the last 7+ years for Miami. They've won 51 in a row here and heading towards number 52 as we begin the fourth quarter. Eric Reed, Nat Moore, and Joe Rhodes. And what a third period for Frank Costa. He goes 7 of 8 for 90 yards in the third quarter for the day. 18 of 32, 268 yards. And his top receiver, Chris Jones, having the best day of his young Miami career. 6 receptions, 108 yards.
That's just a fantastic day, especially when your offense is struggling and you need to make some big plays. And Chris Jones has stepped forward in the second half, so Frank Costas has done as well.
2 touchdowns on the board for Miami. A 1-yard Larry Jones run back in the first quarter, capping a 20-play, 85-yard drive. Longest drive for a Miami team since the Notre Dame game in 1989. Second touchdown for the Canes came back in the third quarter on the 45-yard hookup between Costa and A.C. Tellison. First play of the fourth quarter. Second down and 2 at the Hokie 10. This is the fullback, Derek Harris, straight ahead, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Derek Harris, the former linebacker from Willow Ridge, Texas. Hard to bring down. And Brown finally stopped him.
That's just good, hard running at the point of attack. You got the offensive line coming off the football, and he just decided he's going to make a hole as he runs through Ken Brown, drags him for another 3-4 yards, and gets it down to the 3-yard line. Excellent run by Derek Harris.
Who is excited about it?
I would say a tad.
Harris, the up back. Bennett, the eye tailback on first and goal from the 3. Harris to the 2-yard line, and that is all. George Del Rico, J.C. Price. First to get there. Del Rico showing some toughness playing with the shoulder injury. Got an assist from Ken Brown.
On this play, the Hokies come with slants where everybody's coming down, knowing that Miami would like to run it up the middle again after the success of the first run by Harris. The thing I'd like to see Miami do, and they haven't shown it yet, is from that eye, show some speed as far as one guy running to the corner of the end zone.
Maybe we'll get that here on second and goal from the 2. The eye tailback, the speedy Danielle Ferguson. Ferguson gets inside the 1. Stacey Henley, the safety, along with William Yarborough making the stop. So it'll be third and goal from inside the 1 for Miami. Just underway here in quarter 4. Third-ranked Miami in a struggle, leading 14-0.
I'll tell you, though, they're really finding it tough to put the ball in the end zone down here. They've had it down here a couple times inside the 10-yard line, and it's not been a cakewalk. You see the Virginia Tech Hokies do a good job here. You see Green, you see Henley coming in, and they just string it out till Pursuit gets there and keeps them from getting it in.
Nice stop made there by number 37, Marcus McClung. On third and goal. Derek Harris into the end zone. It looked like he dove in. They say he came up short, and penalty markers are down. Now this Virginia Tech defense, Nat Moore, showing us here at the Orange Bowl, tons of heart. It'll be fourth and goal, inches away from the Virginia Tech end zone.
Well, last year we had a team from Arizona come in here, and they also made the Hurricanes look ugly. But when it was all over with, we found out that Arizona was a good football team, and you have to wonder if this Virginia Tech Hokie football team is not a very talented team, as you see Dennis Harrison looking on here.
On fourth and goal, Harris ducks in, dives in, and gets in. Touchdown, Miami. Derek Harris, a yard out, gets his first touchdown as a Miami Hurricane, and it's 20-0.
Here's a good job by the offensive line of just holding their ground, and you see a little torpedo come through there. That's Harris, Robert Harris, just getting it over. He didn't get it in by much.
Well, Dane Pruitt hasn't missed yet on a point after this season. Out of the hold of Chrissy. Straight through there. 12 minutes, 14 seconds left in our football game today at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. The third-ranked Hurricanes for the first time today with some breathing room. We'll be right back here on Sunshine Network.
Want the bald facts about hair loss? It's not some dread disease. The problem is you just don't look as good. Hollywood's secret is Couvre. It's so natural looking, no one could possibly tell.
You're watching college football on your local Prime affiliate.
If you've been waiting for a hard-working chainsaw to tackle those tough jobs around the farm.
Here in the fourth quarter, Eric Reed with Nat Moore and Joe Rose. At last Miami scoring drive, covered 10 plays, 80 yards. The Hurricanes holding it for nearly 6 minutes. Their second scoring drive of the day, Nat, that covers 80 yards or more.
80 yards, but the big play was the 20-yard reception by Chris Jones, and that's what they're living on the pass again today. Last week or 2 weeks ago, there was the rush that helped them.
Here's your game summary. Larry Jones capping the 85-yard, 20-play first quarter drive. A.C. Tillison with a big 45-yard strike from Costa, and it's been a pretty good afternoon for Miami's junior quarterback. Rattled early with the Virginia Tech blitzes. He settled down, had an excellent third quarter. Here's Larry Jones. Nice run for the fullback out of Gainesville up to the 24-yard line. That's a 13-yard pickup for Larry Jones. Finally brought down by the free safety, Torian Gray.
And Larry Jones shows you some nifty footwork here as he goes through the middle. He just does a good job of keeping his feet moving and making people miss him right up the middle. You'll see that 2 or 3 defenders have a shot. Brown misses him, steps through the tackle. There's his corner coming in, missing him. Just does a good job with a big man like Larry Brown.
First and 10 for the Canes, their own 25. Bennett and Jones in for protection. And Costa looking deep. Jamie German running step for step alongside with Stacy Henley. There was contact, but no flag.
Well, I think that's something that Jamie German is going to learn, is that, you don't get tied up with the corner. You do what you have to do to get away from him. And, the reason I think they didn't call interference was they thought the ball was uncatchable.
What do you see, Nat Moore, when you look at the young thoroughbred Jamie German?
I see a kid that has so much ability, but the quarterback, Henley, just does a good job of forcing him out of bounds and not letting him get by him. That's good defensive play there.
8:53 to play in this game, and a 2nd and 10 for Miami. That ball thrown behind Jonathan Harris. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Frank Costa dumped by George Del Rico. Word from a Hurricane sideline. Ricky Perry, the big tackle. Will not be back in. Cramping in the legs.
Costa takes another good hit off Del Rico, and he and Jonathan Harris read the blitz, but just wasn't able to connect.
Jason Boudroni in at the tackle spot for Ricky Perry. Boudroni, a 290-pound, 5th-year senior from Philadelphia. On 3rd and 10. Chris Jones, the juggling bid, but he couldn't hold on. It has been a career day for Chris Jones with 6 catches, 108 yards. That's the 2nd ball he's juggled and dropped.
Well, I think Chris Jones ended up in an area that he wasn't supposed to be in, either he or Jonathan Harris, because you'll see the 2 receivers come together, and Jonathan Harris is wide open and was going to make the catch, and Chris Jones came across. I take that back. From just looking at the replay, I think Jonathan Harris was supposed to clear through, and it was Chris Jones' ball to catch.
In a crowd, Chrissy unloads with a beautiful punt, sending Freeman back to his own 32-yard line. 38-yard boot with plenty of hang time. And with 8:34 to play here in the 4th quarter, Frank Costa and the Hurricanes lead Virginia Tech 21-0 here on Sunshine Network.
like to play on the beach, huh? Well, if you're one of the thousands of sun lovers out there falling in love with beach volleyball, I've got some great news for you, and it's called Strictly Beach. It's an instructional video hosted by the best in the biz, two-time Olympic champion and the real king of the beach, Kart Karai, and the #1 ranked woman player in the world, Carolyn Kirby. Join Kart and Carolyn as they teach two rookies the ins and outs of the game that's taken the world by storm. You become part of the class as the two top players in the world today share their insights in an informative and entertaining way. You say you want to improve your game, huh? Well, what better way than having Kart and Carolyn come to your home and show you the right way to become king of your beach? Come on, you can always improve, and it's never too late to start playing. Become part of this explosive sport today.
Learn from the pros. Guaranteed to improve your game. Strictly Beach is only $19.98. For faster delivery, please have your credit card ready and call 1-800-522-5333. That's 1-800-522-5333.
8:34 left in the football game. The Hurricanes leading at 21-0. Dennis Erickson is substituted liberally with his defense here in the final quarter. Now we invite you to join host Tony Segreto for the Dennis Erickson Show, Sunday, September 26th at 10 a.m. for all the latest scores and highlights of Hurricane football. We hope you'll tune in. With Joe Rose and Nat Moore, a pair of former Dolphins, I'm Eric Reed as we look at Dennis Erickson and we turn the page to defense for Miami, leading by 3 touchdowns. Maurice DeShazo shaking off the injury, back in at quarterback. The end around to Antonio Freeman. And plenty of room. First down and lots more for Freeman to the 30 and brought down at the 28-yard line by James Burgess, the freshman outside linebacker. And the Hurricanes were fooled.
Virginia Tech just does a good job of taking advantage of that aggressive Miami defense in the pursuit, and they just got everybody out in front. And here you see Freeman. He's off to the races, and if it hadn't been for Burgess making that great recovery coming back, he would have scored a touchdown.
Gain of 37 yards, 1st and 10. Here comes Tommy Edwards. Ran right into Carl Richardson and Corwin Francis. And after that big pickup, the Hurricanes have put their first defensive unit back in.
Well, they caught him with a young defense in there, and they were a little over-aggressive and didn't take care of their own responsibility by staying home and keeping everything inside of them. And Antonio Freeman was able to get down the sideline on the reverse.
55,753 in attendance at the Orange Bowl, and they are rooting hard for the shutout. 7:35 to play, 21-0 Miami, and a 2nd down and 9 for Tech. At the Hurricane 29. DeShazo in trouble, gets it away, juggling bid, incomplete, intended for the tight end John Burke. Corwin Francis shot through, and the outside linebacker put the heavy heat on DeShazo.
I don't understand how he was able to get that ball off. You know, it's just a great execution. Just a guy here that, is a little hobbled. He's hit, and he's still able to get it off, and he almost completes it. So you have to give DeShazo a lot of credit of not quitting and not going down for the easy sack.
Well, DeShazo has a streak on the line. He's thrown at least one touchdown pass in 7 consecutive games. It is Virginia Tech Hokies who are averaging 48 points a game through their first 2 weeks. Still scoreless with 7:21 remaining. And a 3rd down and 9 here at the Kane 28. On the draw, this is Edmonds, breaks the tackle. And very close to the first down at the Miami 20. Dexter Siegler and Corwin Francis stopping Brian Edmonds, but a good run as he shed the initial tackle.
Good play calling by Coach Bremer. Knowing that Miami's going to come after them with a little pressure, they come with the draw, and they come close to getting 10 yards for the first down.
Brings up a big play. 4th down and 1 at the Hurricane 20. Tommy Edwards, the deep tailback. Edmonds in front. On the option, they bottle it up and bring DeShazo down. Rohan Marley blew the play open for the Miami defense. He was on DeShazo almost instantly.
Rohan was coming on a weak side blitz, and they were running away from him, and DeShazo never saw him, and he came in and made the tackle from behind before they could get turned upfield. Big play by Rohan Marley. Here you see comes from the backside. They were coming after him all the way. They are trying to preserve the shutout, and they put that first unit in to make sure there.
Rohan Marley and number 58, Corwin Francis, who had a standout day 2 weeks ago at Boston College. With a big play to help preserve the shutout. And these Hurricane fans do appreciate the defense.
They're accustomed to great defense around here, and linebacker U, as they call it.
Frank Costa still in. 1st and 10 at the 24. Swings it out complete to Derek Harris. And he is stopped back at the 20. So that's a 4-yard loss. And let's go down to the Miami sideline. Joe Rose standing by.
Thank you guys very much. If you've played in the Orange Bowl or you've been a fan and been able to watch a game here, you know how loud it can get at the closed end of the Orange Bowl. Just now on 4th down, the quarterback for Virginia Tech, I'll guarantee you, unable to hear anything at all. It's very, very loud today at the Orange Bowl. Back up to you guys.
Arsenio and Letterman, look out.
Joe Rose is on his way.
He's got it going, doesn't he? 2nd and 13 for the Hurricanes. Under 6 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Nice juggling attempt, but Al Shipman couldn't hold on. The redshirt freshman out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Well, Virginia Tech back to it next week. They'll play against Maryland.
Here you see Costa steps up, throws the ball as one that should be caught, and he's a little frustrated there, but you know, as a quarterback, you got to keep your head. You can't get upset when they drop them, because there's going to be times when they're open, you're not going to be able to get it to them.
Those are the numbers accounted for by Costa. 3rd down and 13. Look at the blitz coming. Oh, he's leveled. Fumbled football. And I believe Waverly Jackson, number 98 of Virginia Tech, recovered it. A delayed blitz from the corner by Larry Green. There is a penalty marker down. And it's offsides against Virginia Tech. Boy, Costa was leveled.
That was a big play by Larry Green as he comes on that corner, delayed blitz. Once again, Costa does not see him.